Today I'm going to show you how to swing trade Bitcoin mining stocks. These are my favorite stocks to swing trade, and I will show you soon very simply how to trade it, when to take profit, and most importantly, why they're my favorite stocks to swing trade. Okay, so the first thing is you want to identify, let's just jump right into the technical analysis. The first thing you want to do is you want to grab a rectangle tool if you have it on your chart. Grab a rectangle tool, should be nice and green. You want to zoom out on the daily chart and you want to look for the bottom. Where is the bottom? Can you see the bottom, guys? I can see the bottom right here. Here's your bottom, guys. Oh boy, is that one hell of a bottom. That is one hell of a bottom, guys. Look at that. Every time it's come down here, it's bounced. We're here now. It's bounced here, even back here, even all the way back here. It holds up above $10. That is the point. That is the information we just gathered by simply trying to find where the bottom is. So $10 and under is where buyers step in. $10 and under support. Now, just for the sake of clarity, I'm going to switch this to green, make the whole thing green. There we go. Now we're going to grab our rectangle tool. We're going to find a red rectangle here, and we're going to do the same thing. Where is the top? Where is the top, guys? You guys see the top? The top is pretty easy to find on Bitcoin miners. There's your top. Anytime we go up above 18, we eventually come back down. Pretty volatile too, because it jumps between 10 and 18. Now, again, for the sake of clarity, I will switch this to red, and I will label it. I don't normally label it because it's not necessary, but I will label it just for your sake. So, $18 and $18 plus resistance, demand. I mean, supply or demand, whatever. You can use supply and demand if you want, but I'll just call it resistance and support. Okay, so looks like over the long term, we're just going sideways. Pretty easy trading range to identify and trade. Now, if you're looking to swing trade, obviously the best time to buy is up here, right? Obviously, we want to buy at 18. Every time it comes up here, we want to buy at 18. And then when it goes down, we wait for it to come back up and we add more at $18. And that is how you make money. I'm kidding, by the way. That's not how it works. Hopefully you didn't actually think that. Hopefully you raised an eyebrow. You should have raised two eyebrows, actually. Like, wait, what the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. You're buying at 18? Okay, yeah, you want to buy down here. When it's at around $10, that's when you want to start loading. Because the history tells us that it is going to hold down here and eventually come back up to 15 plus. And I've been doing this for a long time now. It's a very profitable strategy. It's been working. And back when it was under $10, we were trading it. We were swing trading this one. So look, it's that easy. I just gave you the strategy, and this works for BitF as well. Let's look at another Bitcoin miner. Do you see the top and bottom? I'm not even gonna. You should be able to see it right away. Let me remove this here. Here's your top, and here is your bottom down here. Okay, very easy to recognize. Tends to bounce between $2 and $3.50-ish plus. Okay, that's BitF. Let's switch over to Mara. Mara, ooh, that one's already drawn for you. You see that? You see that trading range? Very easy to identify between 30 and a low of 15. Very volatile because it is a Bitcoin miner. So you're going to see them jump around $5 to $10, but that's ideal if you're trying to make a lot of money. Trading these, that is beautiful. That is what you want to look for. And those are just three examples. There's other Bitcoin miners, but these are probably the best ones if you're looking to make money. Mara is the more expensive one. Riot, I think, is a middle of the ground if you want something real cheap. BitF, I think CLSK had a huge run up. So I don't trust CLSK personally because it just had an enormous run up. But CLSK, same thing. Here's your support. Here's where buyers step in, and here's where here's where people start taking profits. And it just tends to bounce between 14, under 15 and 23 ish. So there you go, guys. That is the strategy. Find the trading ranges within the Bitcoin miners. Identify those, add your rectangles, and right now I'm pulling up Bitcoin. Keep track of Bitcoin. See how that one's moving. How is Bitcoin moving today? Let's switch over to the daily because this is the 4 hour. Switch over to the daily and just keep an eye on it because you know Bitcoin is always moving, even on weekends. So not a bad idea to keep an eye on it and see what is going on. So you want to look at Bitcoin and see where is this at? It looks like it's in a trading range. Nope, it's inside a wedge. Actually, not a trading range. So always keep an eye on Bitcoin. It's inside a wedge here. Today it tried to break above 70,000, but it couldn't. And yeah, it couldn't, unfortunately. But here it is. Inside a wedge. Wedges can break to the upside or downside. So what does this tell us? It tells us to exercise caution because of the wedge we're inside of, because it can go either way. It could either break out and go above 70 and we create a new high, or we break down and start going lower and start a downtrend. So this just means caution. And isn't it funny that Bitcoin is in a wedge, but the miners are, nearing support? Anything can happen, guys. Let that sink in for a second. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I think you buy when it's cheap at support, you sell when it goes either to the top of the range or somewhere halfway, or you can scale out. It is entirely on you as to how you want to take profits. I usually trade Riot and I just buy at $10, somewhere around $10, and then just sell it at 15, somewhere like in middle of, yeah, somewhere in between the range. That's what I do personally. You can hold for 18 if you want, but I'm happy with the 50%. I promise you, or 40%. I try not to be too greedy. That's just me. As for stop losses, setting a stop loss is pretty simple. Wherever you bought in at, if it breaks, the stop loss should be whatever the bottom most candle is. Let me look at this. So if you bought right now at $10.18, your stop loss should be at around 860, 850. Like if it doesn't hold that, we're going into a bear market. That's a bear market. We just entered a bear market. That's what that means. You want to give it some breathing room, especially because keep in mind these are volatile. You have to give it that breathing room. You don't give it enough breathing room, you're gonna get stopped out instantly. That is my recommendation. You can also set a trailing stop. I don't do that personally. Again, I prefer to just eyeball it and take the loss when I see that this just isn't holding that sideways trading range anymore, especially that bottom support. Now it's easy for me to say this because I know the strategy. I know this stock very well. I've been talking about Riot for years, which is why again this is the only one I touch for the most part. I do like Mara as well. I used to trade that one, but it kind of $18. I'd rather just buy a cheaper one because they're going to be volatile and move around anyways, right? So it might as well buy a cheaper one, get more shares, and when Riot moves up, when it goes to $15 from $10, that's 50%. When Mara goes from 18 to 30, it's not quite 50% if you think about it for a second. So that's kind of why I go for the cheaper ones. But Mara's not bad at all. That's all I'm going to say. That is it for the video. Hopefully you took something away from this. Again, if you want to even do yourself a favor, just place a yellow line, a big fat yellow line down the middle. The giant fat, yeah, just a giant fat yellow line down the middle, like around 14. And that's kind of just your little median line there. That is where you would want to look to sell if you're not being greedy. You buy at 10, you sell at 14, you made your 40%, and you just bought in when it's cheap and held it. If you want to be a little more, if you want to squeeze a little more, sure, you can wait and hold it up and see if it goes to 18, 20 plus. That's fine. Everyone has their strategy. You can scale that at 14 and then some more, and then the rest of the position when it hits 18. I mean, again, up to you. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one.